What is going on? You're listening to episode 213 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh, player 280. Welcome back, my friend.
Yo, what is going on, Josh? And what is up, NPC fam? It is your boy, Hate Zero, your hero.
Oh yeah. Okay, guys, that music you just heard is from On Being Human. You can check them out on Spotify and YouTube. Remember, this is an unofficial Nintendo podcast. And if you'd like to get yourself a free book from Audible, head on over to n64josh.com/audible. That will take you directly to Another Castle, which is now available on Audible. I'm so hyped about it. If you'd like to get yourself a gaming chair from OP Seat, go to n64josh.com/OP Seat. If you are a smaller individual, the Master Series is $40 off on top of the $10 off you get for clicking my link. That is a total of $50 off plus free shipping. Go check it out, n64josh.com/OP Seat. And like I mentioned a second ago, Another Castle. You can go to n64josh.com/Another Castle to pick up the paperback or the Kindle version of Another Castle on Amazon. Yeah, it's there. So, yeah, that's it. That's it for the first part. Let's get to the announcements.
Hey, listen.
All right, guys. Hey, I just added a new shirt. I've been playing Mario Maker, and yesterday I was like, oh, spring jumps are easy. And then I died like 15 times after I said that. And so chat was like, that's got to be the next shirt. So that's up on the store now. You can still use the coupon code E32019. If you'd like to save 10%, you go to n64josh.com/store. Look it. This isn't just t-shirts, okay? This is baby onesies. This is socks, mugs, leggings.
A blanket?
Blankets, throw pillows, right? It's all there. It's all there. n64josh.com/store. Guys, the Mario Project still going strong. If you'd like to submit a story about your something in your past with Nintendo, you know, a Christmas, a whatever, something special, go to n64josh.com/the Mario Project for the details. You can now check out the Super Mario Podcast on Podbean and Spotify. n64josh.com/calendar for the stream schedule and community game nights. n64josh.com/Facebook group to come hang out with us on Facebook. And n64josh.com/Discord is where you're going to find us online as well. There we go. Let's jump on over to what we've been playing.
Here we go.
All right. Well, we've both played a little bit of Sonic Team Racing, I believe, and I'm gonna let you start this off because you've enjoyed this game more than I have, and I think I need to jump back into this game some more. But I'll be honest, I've had a hard time going back to it because it did not pull me in right away.
Yeah. So your biggest complaint I think you're going to touch on is the controls. They're different. You refer to them as sloppy or disconnected. I do see your complaint, but I think it's they're just not as stuck to the ground as Mario Kart is. So power sliding is different. It's not, you can't power slide every corner as effectively as you could. So there is a learning curve there. But once you get it dialed in, I don't think it's bad. It's just different. Outside of that, like a lot of people are hating on the Switch version because the 30 frames per second. I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't have any issues with 30 frames per second. So I'm probably in the minority. I don't really care if it's 30 frames or 60 frames as long as it's locked and pretty stable at 30 or 60. I would take 30 frames per second over 54 frames per second. So that didn't bother me. The graphics are pretty good. Gameplay is not terrible, but it does some things differently. That's kind of refreshing. You know, there's the team aspect of it. You can draft off your team. There's certain modes where you have to get your entire team across the finish line before the other team, or you can't win the race. There's different challenge modes, so there's a lot to it. I haven't played online yet. Did you tackle any of that, or did you just get too frustrated?
That was the first thing I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, first thing I did was jumped right in online. I think in my first, either my first or second race, I took first, and so it was like it was, you know, but that wasn't the that wasn't like, oh, I got first. Like my biggest thing, it's not that necessarily that the controls don't feel tight. Like the controls don't necessarily feel bad. What for me is I feel like there is a disconnect in the gameplay from the cart to the track. It feels more like it's gliding across the road, if you will, versus like actually feeling like Mario Kart just has that feel of like it's a racing game, you know, like you kind of know what, like, you know, if you play especially like simulation games, Gran Turismo, Forza, things like that, like, you know, that good feel that you get from the, you know, it's a combination of just the sound and the way the cart interacts with the track, that kind of stuff. And so it's just like G.I. Jello saying in chat, it's floaty to me. Yeah. That's what it feels like. It just feels floaty. And so
it is. You compared it to, before the show started, you said F-Zero. I'd say Wipeout as well is another good comparison. It does kind of feel like that. Not quite as drastic as that, but I do see the comparison there.
Yeah, so that's again, I mean, I want to go back to it eventually, because I know I've had a lot of people ask me like, well, hey, what's your final verdict on it? And I'm like, right now, I would just, if I'm going to play a kart racer, I'd rather go with Mario Kart. Even though I have almost 400 hours in that game, I would still rather play that just because I love it. I love it. So I will play it some more this weekend. I'll report back on Monday a little bit. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some races together, you know?
Yeah, let's try it.
Can we play with friends?
I don't know. I haven't tried that yet. I will say the music's really good too. The levels have great music. Each racer, I guess, has their own music. So that part, like, it has some pretty good music. And there's a story mode, which was the most refreshing thing for me. Like, there's actually a Grand Prix mode, I would say. So, you know, that was something that's lacking for me in the Mario Kart series. Like, yeah, they have their Grand Prix, but they're, you know, just a few races and then you're done. I kind of like that, you know, modifying your car, you know, unlocking new stuff. Sonic has that. So I could see myself investing some time. It's not as good as Mario Kart. There's no question. If you're looking for a better version of Mario Kart, this is not it. Maybe Crash Team Racing will be, but I doubt it. But it's, so far it's been fun.
And I think that's part of the, as you were talking about it, I will say Nightcrawler from chat is saying that he's waiting for it to drop $10 before he picks it up, and I can see that. I didn't mind the price at $39.99. I thought it was okay, but I can see waiting. The thing about it is, with pretty much any Mario Kart title, other than Double Dash, had that floaty feel too, a little bit to it, you know, which I think is part of the reason that I don't love Double Dash as much as some people. The thing with pretty much any Mario Kart, I could pick it up and I pretty much know what I'm going to need to do to start learning the best line, how the game is going to handle, how it's going to control. And this, I think, because it feels like a learning curve, or like it's just, it felt out of place almost, like not as just natural, that I was like, oh, I don't want to invest in this. You know what I mean? Like, it just, so I think that was part of it too. So I don't want to come across like overly negative about the game, because it could be a really great game. It's just, I myself am having a hard time wanting to put more time into it. So hopefully that makes sense. But I mean, you've played Mario Kart probably more than you've played any other game series in your entire life. So Halo might. Okay,
so I mean, but still, we're talking thousands of hours.
Yeah.
and so, you know, throwing a new kart racer in there is going to be much harder for you. Obviously, I played a lot of Mario Kart growing up, and I've played 8, and it's a great game, but I look at this as different. It's not Mario Kart, and as long as you're okay with it not being Mario Kart, I think you can have fun with it.
I think Diddy Kong had that floaty feel too, which is why
it did. But they also had hovercrafts and planes, so
which was totally fun. Like, I spent the time getting to know those different vehicles and things like that, but I never really liked the kart racing in Diddy Kong.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I preferred, like, for battle mode, like the hover boats that was so much fun. So, Yeah, so there you go. We're gonna jump on over to the news. There's kind of a lot to talk about, so it's kind of I'm glad this worked out for you to join me, because I was like, there's some cool stuff on here that I don't want to just go through by myself. So here we go. All right, so the 2009 Ghostbusters video game they're getting a remaster, and the Switch made the cut. Okay, now this isn't a game that I've played, but it is a game that I hear a lot of people really, really like. Do you remember playing this on the 360?
I didn't play it, but I do remember it, and it looked really cool. And I don't know why I didn't rent that game. I wanted it, but I never got around to it. And it looked super cool. So I'm excited to see if they properly remaster it. Because like the Assassin's Creed remaster wasn't so much a remaster as it was a direct port, flaws and all. So I'm hoping that it's a remaster.
I remember seeing like videos of this game. Here's the thing, due to my upbringing, like Ghostbusters was one of those weird things where my dad would watch it with me, but my mom wouldn't let me like watch the cartoon. Like I could watch the movie with my dad. Like he took us up on a trip in Canada to like me and my sister fishing.
You had to leave the country to watch Ghostbusters.
We had to leave the country, and so, but then I wasn't allowed to watch the cartoon. Right. And so it just, I never had like, there's not a huge like nostalgia pull or anything like that for me, but I remember I think I had a friend give me a toy, so I played with that as a kid a little bit. So I had there's a little bit of nostalgia there, just not a lot. And so, but I did hear good things about this game. So it's like, hey, bring it on. I'd love to check it out. And who knows, it may be something that I really enjoy. And fingers crossed, a 4-player co-op game, hopefully. We'll see. Yeah. Maybe we can play with randoms at least.
Yeah, he'll be able to play with randoms similar to like Payday and other games we'll talk about.
Jay Harley says, if mom said ask your dad, you were golden.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, that's pretty cool. Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters coming to the Switch later this year. They didn't have the exact date, otherwise I would let you guys know. It just said later this year. We got Fire Piranha Plant is hitting the courts with Dry Bowser also coming in July, right? So okay. Ace is still getting the love, right?
All right, so fun story really quick. We'll digress a tiny bit. So I'm on the plane going to our cruise, and I brought my Switch. My wife's nephew was there. He was going on the cruise with us, her sister's family. He had his Switch. So we busted out some aces, and I destroyed him.
Attaboy.
6-time champion, and he quit, and we didn't play anymore. But the point is, I dusted off aces, and it's still as good as ever.
I love going back. I love at least once a month going back and unlocking these characters. Right. I think it's a ton of fun. And the last time I did it, I actually won the tournament that I was like, oh, nice. I need to go to sleep. Oh, okay. I'm laying in bed. Like I figured I'll do one and then I'll lose. Nope. Went all the way through and ended up winning. So that was fun. The funny thing about it is the guy I beat recorded the match and then tweeted at me. I was like, oh, that's cool. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So that was, that was a good time. So I'm excited to jump back into that, and I'm not sure. I think it's usually right at the first of the month, so it might already be available. Smash version 3.1 brings VR support to Smash.
Oh, yeah. This is the thing we always wanted.
And amiibo functionality, like online play with your amiibo. So the amiibo part, after like we in the Discord, we have a Smash Bros amiibo like community, like a little sub community within the Discord. They Splice Stream, I believe, is what he goes by on Twitch. He Captain Grisman there, he might be able to tell me his name for sure, just so I can make sure I get it right. They train these things, and then they just let him go at it. Well, the way it would have to work is you'd have to have an Android phone, you'd have to have an NFC reader, you'd scan your amiibo in, then you could get that and send it to a friend who then they could pull it off, rescan. It was just really convoluted. If you had an iPhone, you were out of luck. You weren't going to be able to do this. And now they're going to be able to take their amiibo right into an arena, and it's going to make this a cool thing. So if that's something that interests you, you think that's kind of a cool feature in Smash, jump into the Discord, n64josh.com/discord, and jump into our little Smash amiibo server. There's a lot of people there, and so it's going to be big for them, because I mean they do big tournaments. Look, Captain Grisman in the chat, he sent me Mario amiibo and was like, you have to fight this. I had to fight the thing for like 20 minutes before I finally beat it, right? Or an hour or something. I mean, it was crazy. And they learn that. So then I trained my Mario to fight his Mario, right? And it's actually kind of fun. It's kind of fun. So he's saying in chat they can get a legit online tournament now, which I think is great. It's great for that community. Now the VR. Did you watch the video that Nintendo put out before we went live?
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
Oh, I mean, I couldn't think of a better addition to Smash Bros than this. This is the thing I've been waiting for. Like, I haven't been playing a lot of Smash, and I've really been holding on, like, man, the one thing I want to do is just watch CPU battles, but I want to do it like I'm first person there. And Nintendo nailed it.
My favorite part of that video.
Sarcasm.
My favorite part of that video is they show the Captain from Animal Crossing. Like, he's just taking off, and he just kind of falls off the world. I was like, oh no. The sarcasm is dripping. Color says so.
It's such a weird thing that I know that the VR is a kind of a novelty, and I don't think Nintendo's ever going to do full-blown VR with it. Like we've talked about it before, the system's 720p. It's not going to be built for full VR. But like, wouldn't Tetris 99 have been a better choice for a VR update than this? Like, it just seems like there's other games that maybe would have, like, one, you have to hold the stupid thing up to your face, so you're going to hold it to your face while not playing and just watching the CPU play. Like, how is that ever going to be fun for anybody?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
It's a little bit strange. You can tell that they're using their other IPs to sell Labo, and I mean, I get it. They want to get their product out there. This is going to be for somebody. Somebody's going to love this. There's probably some 10-year-old kid that's like, oh my gosh, I can finally, there's going to be some people that really, really enjoy this, right? It's not going to be for everybody, and that's fine. I mean, I was surprised to see it, right? Breath of the Wild kind of made sense. And then Game Explain had to do like this video on like how to play this without getting sick, And so I'm waiting. Like, Mario Kart seems like it's gonna have. They already have 2 Labo. It's already been integrated with Mario Kart. So I'm just kind of waiting to see when that's gonna happen. And that's, I mean, what else are you gonna do? ARMS next? Are we gonna get Splatoon going?
ARMS would have been a good one too. That could have been pretty cool.
It's I mean. Well, then the other, like, it's kind of just a little side note, but Unity now has support. Like, they added support for the Labo VR or whatever. So other developers can now make Switch VR games if they want to.
Yeah.
So.
And for some of those like $5 eShop point and click adventure type games that we see that most of us ignore, something like that would be really neat, in like one of those mysteries where you're in a room and you have to click on things to try to, find the clues and all that. Something like that might be cool in the Labo VR. What
game could be crazy with it? Especially if it's paced similar to how the last 2 games have been, is Luigi's Mansion 3. Could you imagine turning and then seeing a ghost, but then chucking your Switch?
That would be fun. And then, like, they'd have to make a where you have like a vacuum labo
Right.
attachment or something. But yeah, I mean, they could do some cool stuff with that. I just don't. I think the Smash edition's kind of silly, and but you know, the good thing about this is if you think it's silly or you think it's stupid, you don't ever have to do it. You know, it doesn't in any way affect you if you don't like it.
I think what they need to do, they need to add it into aces, but you actually are the ball. And you just get smacked back and forth. That'll
be good, yeah. I like that. Or if you're the racket.
Just so you just see behind when they're holding it. You don't even see what's going on.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, the other thing that got me thinking, like, I wonder if Maker will get Labo integration. You know, like, are we gonna see? You know, you could look up and down because the thing with Smash, I mean. Yeah, you can kind of see some of the 3D elements, but it's essentially a 2D fighter, really. I mean, it's kind of what it boils down to. And so,
yeah,
like, really, they could toss us into anything. It's just a simple update, and I'm kind of wondering if Link's Awakening, Animal Crossing, and Luigi's Mansion aren't going to have a little more tie-in with this, and this is their way of limping it along. To keep it on people's minds, to keep it possibly moving off the shelf, you know, because I guarantee there's some little kid that was like, "Mom, I need Labo now. I can play Smash in VR," you know. So
yeah, I really hope they don't add it to Mario Maker because that's going to do nothing but anger everybody. So I think Nintendo, if you're listening, don't do that. You're gonna make everyone very upset. So that's my advice.
All right, here, let's see. Nintendo is hitting the road. I get a link pulled up here. I saw the email briefly this morning that they are going to be doing, you know, different locations where people can play. I saw a list of games. I know Mario Kart was on there, Smash was on there. And a handful of others. I'm not seeing a link right off the bat here, but they've done this in years past where, like, you guys have probably seen, like, the, you know, like, pictures in the desert. They have, like, this little, like, Switch shack set up, and, you know,
they brought John Cena around for those for a little while.
They did. That's right. I remember that being the case. Let's see. Worth noting here, a little side note while I'm looking, I'm just kind of digging through. I'm on Nintendo Life right now. Nintendo announced an Indie World presentation tomorrow for Japan. That's scheduled for, it's 5 p.m. tomorrow, Japanese time. Let me see. The UK, it's 5 p.m. because that's where Nintendo Life is located. I'm not sure if they have the state. Looks like 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern. So should be getting some more news about indies tomorrow at 1. I think it's about a 15-minute presentation. Oh, the other thing I forgot to add to the notes, but worth noting, especially if you're a Mario Kart fanatic like myself, is Mattel has added Metal Mario to its Mario Kart Hot Wheels line that comes out in June. So I don't know if you guys remember at last E3 they talked about this. They kind of showed it off, I believe, or it might have been San Diego Comic-Con, one or the other. But it was like Hot Wheels, you know, Mario Kart Hot Wheels, and then it was like coming in June. We're like, what? Why is it so far away? You know, but the Metal Mario one, the glider is out. It's a $20 Hot Wheel. The rest of them are like $4. I think like $3.99, something like that. So, if that's something you're interested in, you'll be able to pick it up there. I am still struggling to find a link, and so if I can find one, I will throw it in the notes. You guys can check it out. But yeah, they are going on the road. I figured this would be you know, somewhat front page for some of these sites. It's not been like an incredibly busy day with news, and it just dropped this morning. So
I think I saw it. I'll look for it while you move on, and I'll drop it in the chat.
This is the big one. Now, I say it's the big. It may end up being nothing, because this has happened before, where certain games have been found, like on, you know. Let's see here. So, you ready? Because I know you said you wanted this at one time.
I don't know if I'm ready.
The rumor is grain of salt. Call of Duty
Oh,
coming to the Switch. That's the rumor. Now, what it is it's let me see. Let's see. So let's see. The site has spotted reference to Switch in Call of Duty site code. The word Nintendo Switch has been added, and very recently, according to the source. Okay, so as well as a reference to the console's 720p screen resolution, NX dock also appears in the code. What does this mean? Could these be references to the game running on the Switch, or merely code? I'm just reading directly from the article. Or merely code within the site, which tells it to properly format itself when viewed on a web browser or YouTube app on the Switch. Your guess is as good as ours. So, something like this, something similar happened with the Wii U that gave a lot of people, like a lot of people thought that Black Ops 3 was coming to the Wii U. Yeah. Obviously, that didn't happen. This is a much different time. The other thing that was announced today was Call of Duty remake of Modern Warfare.
Yes.
Right? So I could see it being a pretty simple thing for them to just either like isn't there maybe it was just a multiplayer. There's multiplayer maps or something like that. There was some kind of Modern Warfare stuff that came out like not too long ago, just a couple years back. I think it was just
it was a pre-order bonus for one of the Call of Duties.
Right. So this is the full-blown game. So they could give us an HD remake of the 360 one for the Switch, right? It wouldn't have to be like the whole updated. And which, for me personally, I'm okay with them taking that route as long as everything runs smooth. Because you were saying that Assassin's Creed and everything I've been hearing has not been good about Assassin's Creed, which it's like if that's older game from older hardware, you would think that would be running much better, right?
Yeah, so with the Assassin's Creed, the frustrating thing is PS4 and Xbox One got proper remasters where they fixed some of the bugs and upgraded graphics and textures. It appears that the Switch version is essentially a straight port. Bugs and graphics all identical to the Wii U version, which when it came out, the Wii U version of that game wasn't bad. So if Call of Duty ends up coming over to the Switch, I hope they would give it to was it Panic Button? Mm-hmm. Someone like them, let them doomify it. Let them do what they've done with Wolfenstein and make it worthwhile. Don't just throw junk out. Make it worth people's time, and I think they'll be rewarded for that.
One of my biggest hopes, and we'll talk about this stuff Monday for sure, but my biggest hope is that we see Halo on Switch, right? Especially with Microsoft and Nintendo, the way they've been getting along. But Call of Duty is a close second for me, just to really have that solid shooter. Like Fortnite's fun, don't get me wrong, it's great, but it's not the and Doom is great too. I like the multiplayer, it's fun. But it doesn't have the level of polish that Call of Duty has. That time to kill is real quick. It's kind of a different style game. But that boots on the ground, Modern Warfare, man, oh man, those were the glory days, right? Call of Duty 2 was great, 3 was terrible, 4 was like, wow, this is and it's great. I love that Treyarch turned everything around, and now they're kind of the top dog in the Call of Duty.
Absolutely.
Sphere.
If they brought Rainbow Six Siege to the Switch, it's the only game I would ever play. I'd never play anything else ever again.
And then Labo VR, right? So you'd be
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I want. But Call of Duty, I notoriously buy them every year, even sometimes when I say, you know what, I'm not buying it this year. And not because I think they're really great games. I don't think they're the best shooters. I don't think they're the best games. But there's a lot of people playing, and usually you have friends playing it, right? Like I always have friends playing, and that's the biggest hook for me. When I'm playing a multiplayer game, I want to play with friends. When I'm playing a multiplayer game, I want to play with friends.
One more time for the people in the back.
When I'm playing a multiplayer game, I want to play with friends.
There we go.
Okay.
Before we, it would have been a great segue, but I found the article for the Nintendo going on the road here, the road trip across the U.S. They're taking Mario Maker 2 and other Switch games. So the games that will be available at the event: Super Mario Maker 2, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So funny to see that. So like, I was surprised to see that was so far up on the list. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Overcooked 2, Super Mario Party, and Splatoon 2. Okay, so that's you can really see, other than really other than Pokemon Let's Go, which even that has multiplayer, so there's kind of a little bit of a heavy multiplayer focus here. The event will have a theme corresponding to the games on tour and include a stage with warp pipes for Super Mario Maker 2, neon colors for Splatoon 2, and bucket race car seats for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So there is a list of places it's going to be. Looks like Chicago, got June 26th through the 30th, Milwaukee, July 3rd through the 7th, Sacramento, July 12th through the 14th, Seattle, July 19th through the 21st. I may try to go down there during the bye to Seattle. It'll be crazy, but I'll try. You got Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, August 2nd through the 4th, the Iowa State Fair, August 8th through the 11th, Kentucky State Fair, August 15th through the 19th. Got the great New York State Fair, August 22nd through the 25th. Minnesota State Fair, August 30th through September 2nd. New Mexico State Fair, September 6th through the 8th. LA County Fair, September 11th through the 15th. The Big E, which is in Massachusetts, September 26th through the 29th. And Georgia National Fair, October 3rd through the 6th. So there you go. I will throw that link in the show notes. That is to Game Informer, so you guys can check that out later on. But let's go ahead and move on over into our talking point here. All right, so Super Mario Maker 2 multiplayer. I had a whole show with RJS, kind of talking about it. I've had some interesting responses. Some people not too happy with me, thought I was too salty. Other people were like, right on, you said what I wanted to say, what I would have said. I mean, look, it is what it is. And even, 2 days, 3 days past, like, I've been spending more time with the first Mario Maker. Like, I've been doing expert runs. I did them 2 days in a row. As of now, I mean, the multiplayer stuff was kind of the icing on the cake, right? And I just was thinking about it today. Like, if there was no online multiplayer at all, I still would have been super stoked for this game and would be playing hours and hours and hours of this game, right? I think it was the fact that the icing was there, or is there, but it's missing that, like, just those finishing touches. You know what I mean? So where are you at on this thing?
So if Nintendo hadn't announced multiplayer at all, everyone would still be hyped. No one would be upset. I almost guarantee it. I do think it's a huge miss. Obviously, Nintendo, this is a missed opportunity. That being said, it's not going to take away my enjoyment of the game, because that's not what I'm interested in Mario Maker for. That was going to be a nice addition. It'd be fun to do with our community. But for the most part, I'm interested in Mario Maker for playing the listeners. I'm interested in playing your guys' levels, and I'm honestly, for the first time ever, interested in creating really terrible levels for you guys to play. So that's really where this game shines for me. So yeah, it's a bad move. They totally screwed this one up. No, it doesn't change the game from a must buy to a I'm not buying it. It's still a must buy for me.
I've had multiple people tweet at me that they canceled the pre-orders.
Yeah, I've heard similar sentiments, and it's kind of crazy because that was something you literally didn't know was in the game before you probably pre-ordered it. Like, for some of these people, they probably pre-ordered it the moment it jumped on to Amazon or EB Games or GameStop or wherever, right? The moment it was on there, they pre-order it. No one knew that multiplayer was going to be an option then, yet now that it's an option, but it's not the way you like, they're going to jump off of it. I mean, I think you're going to miss out on a great game if you are dropping the pre-order because of this.
There is so much to do in the first Mario Maker game. Like I can't express to you enough. Like you can create forever. Like you can lose yourself. You could create puzzle levels. You could create shooting levels. There's the amount of creativity that we are going to see is going to be unreal, right? Over 7 million courses were created on the Wii U. We're going to have that in a month on the Switch.
Wasn't there only like 4 million Wii U's in the wild? So, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, there was 13, but it was close. So I like this. I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal. I think that the worst part of it is that it's just all what it was an assumed expectation, right? Because that's the way the marketing. I listened to Game Explain right after that direct. They were like, "We just watched it twice. We're so excited to play with friends online." Right, and then they kind of backpedaled a little bit during the podcast, like after the fact, and they were like, "Oh, wait a minute, did they say that for sure?" You know, like, but then it was like, "Oh, there's no way that wouldn't be a thing," right? That's almost kind of that was just kind of the vibe, right? And so,
oh, there's a way. There's the Nintendo way.
There is a way. So, at this point, I just don't know. I don't know, and I mentioned it with RJS. Like, how do they get a game like a fighting game like ARMS? It seems like the online has just been nailed. There's ranked, there's party mode, there's like everything's here. It's like, okay, you know, even Mario Kart, you can go in and play with randoms. You could set up a room, you could set up a tournament, and that was on the Wii U, right? All that stuff was on the Wii U. So I don't know. I don't know where the disconnect is at.
It's just not their focus. You know, I've been saying it for a while, but that's just not what Nintendo's focused on. One of the high ups like got harassed online and he didn't like it. Like, you remember that story. He was playing online and people were telling him super negative things, and he said it wasn't a fun experience for him. Nintendo doesn't really, I mean, from the first Switch video we ever saw, it was Karen on the rooftop, right? So Nintendo wants you to play with people you know, and they do it better than anybody, hands down. If you want to play with people you know in IRL, they do it better than anyone, hands down. They don't really care about the online. It's not something they value. I don't see that changing. I hope it improves, but I think you're constantly going to be disappointed by first-party titles. I hope it gets good enough that third-party titles can have a solid online experience and existence on Nintendo. But I just look at Super Mario Party. That was a huge miss. That game I've only played 4 times because it doesn't have online. It's just not something they truly care about. They really don't.
Dude, a positive step with Mario Party would to be at least put in those like side mini games that they have, right? Like the baseball. That is so much. We've gone back and played that baseball probably more than anything else. Like that silly little like, and to be able to jump into Discord, get into chat, and play that with 4 people would be fun. I mean, it would be short lived, but there's a few other games within that. It's just so odd that it's like, oh, it has online and there's 5 mini games. I don't really, I don't know. I think everybody assumed like, oh, these are going to rotate, you know, like, and how can Aces still be getting updates and Mario Party gets nothing? And I'm fairly certain, let me look it up real quick, but I think I want to say that Aces didn't even sell as well as Mario Party.
I mean, I guess that's not too surprising because it's a sports game and that's not everyone's cup of tea. But yeah, I mean, Aces Online, it could still be improved. We talked about that a long time ago, but at the end of the day, it works. You and I can play against each other. You and I and two other people can play against each other. It works. I mean, it does what it set out to do. But again, they missed things because we can't host our own tournament. There's no N64 Josh tournament. Like, you know, they're constantly missing the mark with online because I don't think that's their main focus. They want you to play with your friends on rooftops. That's what Nintendo wants.
Yeah, but even that is going to be with, I mean, they pushed really hard in the Mario Maker Direct, the 4 switches, you know, having 4 switches, but I believe it says at least one person has to be connected online in order for that to work. There was some, so you can't even go on the rooftop. If your Wi-Fi is not that good, you can't even get on the rooftop.
Got to get on a better rooftop. Maybe the rooftops in Japan, they have Wi-Fi everywhere. It doesn't matter. But you're right. I mean, that it's just.
So Mario Party has sold 6.4 million units and Aces is 2.6.
That's so unfortunate because to me, Aces is a far superior game. Like Mario Party is cool. Aces was so good. I really think people missed out on that one.
And Smash is slowly on its way to just taking over. I think if Smash doesn't dethrone Mario Kart, I'll be surprised. But interesting, even the choice of games though, right? For this hitting the road, like no Odyssey, no Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart, right? Smash.
Well, so when I take my Switch to work or I take it out and about, I always have Mario Kart on me because that's what everyone wants to play. People who don't own a Nintendo, who haven't played Nintendo in 20 years, they all know Mario Kart. And it's easy. It's 2 buttons. You know, you don't have to power slide. You can just stop and go, right? Everyone picks it up. Everyone has a blast with it. I think it's the perfect game to showcase the Switch. Zelda's obviously still my favorite game on the console, but you know, you're going to get a kid up there for 5 minutes on Zelda? Probably not. He's going to want to sit there for at least 2 to 20,000 hours.
You know, the other thing to kind of keep in mind, and I'm looking right now. Here we go. This is from February 1st, 2019. Okay. 8 million accounts subscribed to Nintendo Switch Online. If I remember correctly, isn't there like the last numbers we got were like, was it 33 million units, Switch units, or 38 million units?
Yeah,
so
like that.
August or April 25th, 3.4 or 34, almost 35 million units, right? 8 million that's a pretty low percent of people with the online. So I don't think it's not only that Nintendo, it's not a priority to them. I almost get the feeling that they feel that it's not a priority to their customers when they look at such a small percent. Like I'm at the point now looking at these numbers that we're in the minority. We are the hardcore, if you will, when it comes to. I mean, I've had Xbox Live for almost as long as
2003, right?
Like almost since its birth, right? I'm like 3 or 4 months behind it, and I've still had the same account. And so like, but there's a lot of people. I mean, you only have half the people that own Mario Kart with online, that have bought the Nintendo Switch online.
Well, so let's say you're G.I. Jello in our chat. Why would he get online? Like, or if you're Drummer in the chat, why would you get online? I'm just picking random names from the chat. It doesn't matter. Let's say you're a human being. Why would you get Nintendo Switch Online? To play games with strangers? To not be able to use headsets and talk to anybody? To use a cell phone app that is the laughingstock of online gaming? Like, what? They're really not pushing it. Tetris 99 was a good start, and it sounds like they're going to be doing more stuff like that. The NES games, yeah, I mean, that's cool. Yeah, I've played some of them, but it hasn't taken a lot of my time. But honestly, like, so Drummer says to play with friends. You can't do that on so many games. So do you really need Nintendo Switch Online to play solo? Like, I don't think you do. Like, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Nintendo multiplayer games are the most alone I've ever felt.
Can I remind everybody too that this is the same company that created the Miiverse that had a crazy amount of people using it, loving it, interacting with each other, and then they just pulled the plug on it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, bring that back over. Give us that. Like, there was so much interaction with other Nintendo players. It was like our personal Nintendo forum.
Yeah.
What, like, there's just, it's strange, some of the things that they've done that kind of go backwards. Like, look, this doesn't change anything for me. This doesn't mean I hate Nintendo. No, I'm still a huge Nintendo fan. I mean, look around me. I'm surrounded by it, right? I just, and I said it in the last show, I want to see Nintendo put their best foot forward. That's what I want. I want them to see that, like, even this, like, I keep seeing articles about this big focus on Smash Bros. Trying to get casual people involved with tournaments. And it's like, or their tournaments are more casual, like the more casual base. And it's like, there is a massive community of hardcore Smash players that would, it would not only boost the sales of that game if Nintendo did like a Fortnite thing with Smash and was like, hey, we're going to throw big money into an actual tournament. Instead, it's almost like they wanted, like, I don't know. It's just, they want to ignore that there's pro players. Even the way they ran their tournaments was like, you know, items and all this stuff. And it's like, come on, guys, you have a community that has kept Melee alive for, like, you know, 16 years or whatever it is, and yet you want to focus on, I don't even know how many casuals are playing Smash as long as the competitive scene does. Like, if you grow the competitive scene, you grow sales. In my mind, I could be dead wrong, but it seems like they're putting their focus on the wrong community. And if they really doubled down on the competitive scene for Smash, I think the game would sell like crazy. We just lost hate. I don't know what happened. You guys get two of me in the show now. Hopefully he'll come back shortly. So I'm gonna read chat for a second here. Let's see. Heads Down says I could see Nintendo pulling the plug on it because it was lowering productivity in Japan. I think we're talking about the Miiverse. Let's see. I don't know what, he may have just lost internet altogether. I'm not real sure. So you guys, yeah, the video here, you're getting two versions of me. Let's see. Nintendo's like, Nintendo is that girl in the 4th period science class. This is from Heads Down in the chat. She knows you're looking. She will she look at you? Nope. So, yeah, apparently he just couldn't take it anymore and he bailed out. I'm not really sure what happened. So it shows he's still online. Let's see. I'll try to call him again. Let's see. We'll get him here. We're doing it live. What can we do? It just happens. His internet may have just completely died. I don't know. So at the end of the day, I think we were close to wrapping up. So we'll just put a bow on this thing here, shall we? All right. Well, guys, you can follow Hate Zero at Hate Zero with an X on Twitter and Twitch, and he is in the Discord if you want to come hang out and chat with him there. You can follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all the places. It's at N64Josh. I'd love to interact with you, chat with you. You know, it's we got E3 coming up. We're gonna be doing the E3 show this Monday night. It's gonna be crazy, and you guys need to get onto n64josh.com. I will post this everywhere, but there's going to be a questionnaire for you guys to fill out, a couple questions for you guys to fill out so that we can get your input and some of your guesses and things like that for what you think E3 is going to bring, because we want it to be pretty community focused. So so that's going to be happening. We want to try to make it a little more unique than just your typical E3 show. So that's the goal anyway. So we'll see. If you guys want to follow this show, it's at NPowercast. Hey, there he is. You're back.
Internet just decided to kick off, so here we go.
Hey, it happens. It happens. Well, I've already told everybody where they can find you and all the good stuff. So I hope, do you have anything left to say on our multiplayer discussion?
No, I think we covered it. You know, they need to do better, but we'll see. I have a lot of hopes they'll do better. So.
And needing to do better in that area doesn't mean they're failing everywhere. I think that's important to say. So there you go. Guys, the show notes for this episode, n64josh.com/NPC 213. You can email the show if you'd like, npc at n64josh.com. Remember, you can go to n64josh.com/audible to get yourself a free book that takes you right to another castle. n64josh.com/opseat automatically saves you $10 at checkout. I do have a Patreon if you want to help support the content I create. patreon.com/n64josh. And I do have lots of t-shirts right now in the store, n64josh.com/store. Use coupon code E32019. That will help me out there. I really appreciate it. So join the Discord, n64josh.com/discord. Come hang out. Facebook group, n64josh.com/Facebook group, and the subreddit, n64josh.com/r is where you can go to hang out with us there. So anybody with us in chat, thank you guys for hanging out. We apologize for the technical difficulties. That's the fun of doing this online, you know. It's just sometimes that's the way it goes down. So Haight and I are still brainstorming some questions for the E3 show. That will be up in a blog post very soon. So thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you in the next one. Bye now.